What's going on, everybody? How you doing? And welcome. My name is Lord PeteyTV, and we're here to talk about our Mythic pluses and what you should be doing about them and what you should really know what's happening inside those dungeons. So we are encroaching week 16. Now, what we've estimated it to be is to be about a 24-week season. So we are probably about 2/3 of the way through. So it's just something to think of when you're going through your dungeons this week and how things are working out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what our affixes are going to be looking like. So our level 4 affix is going to be Zelotap's Bargain Devour, which means players are going to periodically be affected by a heal absorb while they're in combat. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to remove that. So it's healing, dispelling, or getting it removed, or self-heal, or something like that to make that go away. Once it goes away, you'll be able to get a stacking crit and health buff. So it's something to really think of when you're going through those lower end keys. Then after that, you're going to be going after Fortified. You're going to have Fortified at level 7, which is going to be non-bosses are going to have 20% more health, and they're going to deal more damage. And then your level 10 is going to be your Tyrannical, which is going to be your flip-flop. And that means, bosses are going to have more health, they're going to deal more damage. And the last one is Zelotap's Guile, which is deaths are going to now cost 15 seconds instead of 5. So what this is going to mean for everybody is that you really need to be aware of how things are being affected in your higher keys, your 10s, and even so much as your 7 keys. Now, from what we've kind of noticed and how things are kind of evolving and how things are working is that most people are actually sitting in the 10 and 12 ranges. So that's something to think of when you are trying to push your keys. Now, a lot of people are trying to get their 3K more now than I've ever experienced. Now, you really need to be careful on the groups and seeing who you know and what's happening. Some people are picking different classes. Some people have gotten carried to this point. So you really, really have to be careful and really be nervous about and really pick and choose who you're playing with, who you're going with. So that's something I really wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that there really hasn't been many changes in buffs and things of the week. But what I want to tell you is that you make sure you get your Helm enchant, and you get that from doing your Heroic Visions. So Heroic Visions, you're going to really want to do them, and over time, you'll be able to get everything you need to make sure that your Heroic Vision, you get your Helm enchant, and that works out pretty well. The other thing is that there really isn't really many changes in the dungeons that have been happening. A lot of stuff right now is pretty set and pretty ongoing. The one big thing that has been changed is that tank threat has been buffed. So now tanks are going to be able to do more threat and hold more aggro, which is pretty much the reason for that is because the higher end keys, tanks are losing aggro just over time because they can't just generate enough threat, period. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just something to kind of notice. The other thing I want to talk about is also the 11.1.7 patch notes. So this stuff is going to be the things that are going to be pulled into most of your information for what's going to be happening tomorrow. The first thing I really want to just take a second to talk about is the belt. Every single player should go and get the belt. If they're looking to produce keys, trying to make your life easier, do that. From my understanding, it is supposed to be warbound, which means if you complete it on one, then pretty much all your characters are going to get it. So it just seems silly for you to not take the time to do that. That's going to be the first thing that I'm going to be ending up doing. The other thing is the overcharged delves. That's going to be making the delves harder to deal with. But in the end, you're going to be able to get a lot more benefits, and you're going to be able to get a lot more things from that. Just something to kind of think of, just something to go over. These overcharged delves will reward you with Titanic discs, and they're going to be used to allow you to get waste pieces that are going to able to do multiple different things. There's going to be multiple different affixes to make things a little different. You're going to have the belt is going to give you different types of things you can change and buff on it. You're going to be getting things like single target damage procs, AoE damage procs, a shield, a speed boost, a damage increase. There's going to be stam increase, primary stat, mastery increase, haste, and health after killing enemies. I'm telling you, this belt is going to have a lot of different things that are going to be enabled on it. So just think about it. I'm sorry. All of those things I just said were the things that are going to overcharge the things to make delves, the going through the delves easier. I'm sorry. What the belt will end up allowing you to do is it's going to give you single target proc, smart healing proc, crit stack, prot stack, haste proc, verse stack, mastery stack, smart healing proc, a different type, then a damage absorb, and a split damage proc. So that's something to really think of. Also, the overcharged delves are going to give you a new type of mount. You're also going to get a really, really cool Hearthstone, which is probably what I'm going to be going for more than anything. So those are a couple of things, to talk about for that. The other thing is you are going to be getting the what they call a combat assistant tool, which is pretty much the one button rotation. You can just click on it and allow it to rotate through what you have to do to fight and things like that, so people have an idea of how to DPS a little more efficiently. You're going to get a new story campaign quest. You're going to have these Lore Walker Cho situations where I think that's going to be it's going to be cool because you're going to be getting additional bonuses, experience, and things like that for toys. It's another way for people to kind of go through and level, so that's going to be really, really cool. And then there's going to be this other thing. I think this is going to be part of WoW. I'm a little confused, but it's called the Greed Emissary. It's going to be the Warcraft Diablo crossover event. The Greed Emissary. So what is this going to do? So the Greed Emissary is going to be an event that still revolves around killing treasure goblins. But there are key differences from the 2003 version. Treasure goblins have a different spawn method in Undermine, and you can use special elixirs to customize the treasure goblins' portals, giving them different affixes and even spawning more of them. All right, so there's going to be the Hellcaller's chests, which is going to be giving you more things, and the shards. So note on the first 10 Hellcaller chests you loot for the day per character will contain 6 guaranteed Hellstone shards. These will be exchanged for a new recolored Tier 2 set in Dornogal for the duration of the event. And then there's going to be treasure goblins will have affixes, depending upon what they're going to end up doing. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm not going to really read through those. What is this going to do? It's going to give you different times of reward. It's going to give you Hellfire Tier 2 recolors. Death Knight's got some cool recolors. Demon Hunter, Druid, Evoker's has this new cool one. Hunter, Mage, Monk, Pally, Priest, Rogue, which is probably one of my favorites. Shamans is pretty cool looking. Warlocks is alright. Warriors is alright. You're going to have the ability to get the mount, which is called the Ignis Inerus Charger, a new dynamic mount. This is a gunmetal and gold recolor of the Tyrael mount. Then you're going to have the Blood Wrapped Treasure Bag, which is a darker color than the 2003 event. And then you get charms, temporary buffs, a 36 slot bag, Belial, which is the stone learning will be rewarded again. So the Diablo 4 pet is back. A Tyrael Charger's mount. This can vetted. This is going to be returning. So the Tyrael mount will be back. Wirt's Leg Transmog. Treasure Goblin backpack. And we're going to get a cool cloak, banner, some weapons, the Town Portal cosmetic. Thank you. That's the one thing I really wanted that we didn't have access to. So that's really cool. So we got some really, really cool things that are coming in. I'm kind of excited to see overall how this is going to end up working. We'll see. Turbulent Time Waves is coming back, which is going to be 7 weeks. Battle for Azeroth, Mist, Burning Crusade, Draenor, Legion, Classic, and then Battle for Azeroth again. So that is 7 weeks. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. That would mean we would have one free week before the next tier. Because usually they put Turbulent Time Waves in right before everything kind of comes in. So for the next season. So there you go. We have our information. We have what's going on. So I really appreciate everybody for hanging out today. I thank you all. Dream big. Keep gaming. Check us out on YouTube and also on twitch.tv. We're trying to be on every single Monday through Friday. As many people know, we just had our daughter, so times are getting a little harder for me to be online, but we are trying to get as much done as we possibly can. We got some new games that we're going to be, posting on. We got a bunch of WoW stuff that we've been playing, so please make sure you come check us out. I greatly appreciate and love all the support. Please make sure you follow, sub, join wherever on whichever channel is appropriate for you. And thank you all for the support. All right. Love you all. Tell your friends about us. Dream big, keep gaming, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Bye, everybody.